Taylor Swift isn't just a pop superstar, she's a financial enigma. How on earth did a singer-songwriter who started out as a teenage country artist build an empire so massive that economists are literally studying it? Rumors say she's become a billionaire without a makeup line, without a clothing brand, without any of the typical celebrity side hustles. So how is Taylor Swift really making her money? And exactly how much cash does she pull in each year? This is the story of how Taylor turned music into a money-printing machine, one that might be making her richer, faster than any pop star in history. And the craziest part? The numbers we're about to unveil aren't just big, they're record-shattering. Let's dive in because by the end of this, we'll reveal the jaw-dropping figure of Taylor Swift's true annual income and her real net worth. And it just might redefine what it means to be a superstar in 2025. Stick around, you're not going to want to miss a single zero of this story. Imagine tens of thousands of fans screaming in a stadium, night after night. Now imagine each of those nights is depositing 8 figures into one person's bank account. That's the reality of Taylor Swift's latest tour. In 2023, Swift embarked on her colossal Eras Tour. A tour so big, it instantly became a cultural phenomenon. How big? It became the first concert tour in history to gross over $1 billion, and then kept going to top $2.2 billion. Yes, you heard that right. A single tour, grossing more than $2 billion, more than the GDP of some small countries. At first glance, you might think, well, that must all go straight into Taylor's pocket, right? Not quite, but the truth isn't far off. Out of that $2+ billion, there are massive costs to pay. An army of staff, elaborate stage production, endless logistics. Industry insiders estimate about 35% of those ticket revenues went to expenses. But do the math. That still leaves roughly $1.9 billion in pure ticket proceeds, potentially landing in Swift's coffers from the tour's run. In other words, Taylor was earning on the order of $10 to $13 million every single night she performed on that tour. Take a moment to let that sink in. One artist making 8 figures per show, multiple times a week. No wonder tickets were as hard to come by as a winning lottery ticket. And tickets were just one piece of the Eras Tour money puzzle. Because when 70,000 hyped-up fans pour into a stadium, they're not just there to sing along, they're also opening their wallets for merchandise. At each concert, merchandise stands were swarmed with fans eager to buy $40 t-shirts, $75 hoodies, posters, light-up bracelets. You name it. How much can merch add up to? Well, on this tour, the average concert goer was spending about $159 on merchandise. Yes, per fan. Multiply that by roughly 10 million fans across 149 sold-out shows, and you're looking at on-site merch sales approaching $1.4 billion. Since merchandise has high profit margins, around 80% goes back to the artist after costs, a huge chunk of that billion plus is pure profit for Swift's business. The Eras Tour basically became a traveling mega store, and every stadium was a Black Friday. It got to the point where analysts were saying the tour alone could add $4 billion plus to the US economy when all was said and done. And if you want proof of just how lucrative it was, look at Taylor's generosity. When the US leg wrapped up, she handed out over $55 million in bonuses to her crew, from truck drivers to dancers. By the tour's end in 2024, she had given a staggering $197 million in bonuses to the people who worked on the Eras Tour. That's not an expense most artists could even dream of. But Taylor did it, and it hardly dented her earnings. But Taylor wasn't done squeezing value out of the Eras Tour, not even close. She found a way to earn millions from the very same show without adding a single extra concert. How? By turning her tour into a blockbuster movie event. Instead of going through a traditional Hollywood studio, Taylor Swift personally financed a concert film of the Eras Tour and struck a savvy deal directly with AMC Theaters to distribute it. The result was Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour film, which had fans lining up at movie theaters as if it were the next Marvel movie. The film shattered records for a concert movie, grossing about $261 million worldwide at the box office, more than many big-budget Hollywood films make. And here's the kicker. Because Taylor put up the money and bypassed the studios, she reportedly kept about half of that $261 million gross for herself. That's roughly another $130 million in Taylor's pocket, all for a film that cost relatively little to produce. And the gravy train continued, even after theaters. When the movie had finished its theatrical run, streaming giants battled for the rights, and Disney Plus ended up paying around $75 million for the privilege of streaming the Eras Tour film. Taylor essentially monetized her concert twice, first by selling out stadiums, and then by selling the experience to millions more in theaters and on streaming. It's a move no other artist had pulled off at this scale, an absolute masterclass in reusing content to double dip on revenue. At this point, you might be thinking, this all sounds unprecedented. And it is. The Eras Tour alone likely catapulted Taylor's earnings into the stratosphere. When you add up the $2.2 billion in ticket sales, the merch windfall, and the movie deals, the entire Eras Tour enterprise probably generated on the order of $4 billion in total revenue. And of that, Taylor's personal cut, after paying all expenses, could easily be in the ballpark of $1.5 billion. That's from roughly a year and a half of touring and releasing associated projects. We have simply never seen an artist cash out of a tour cycle so powerfully. To put it in perspective, the previous record for the highest grossing tour was held by Elton John at around $940 million. Taylor more than doubled it in fewer shows. No wonder people are calling this the most lucrative tour of all time. But here's the wild part. Taylor Swift's money-making machine doesn't shut off when she comes off the stage. Far from it. The touring is explosive, yes, but even in years when she's not on the road, the cash keeps flowing in torrents. Let's talk about her music sales and streaming, the bedrock of her career. In an era when many artists don't earn much from selling music, Taylor has essentially rewritten the rules of profitability. She's one of the few artists who can still sell albums by the millions in the age of Spotify. Case in point, when she released Midnights in October 2022, it generated about $230 million in sales for Universal Music Group. And this is important. Taylor now owns the masters to her new albums. Unlike the early years, her 2018 deal with Republic Records gave her ownership of all future masters. That means she takes home far more per stream and per sale than almost any other artist in her league. Even better, Taylor owns her publishing rights and writes most of her songs, which means she gets paid twice every time her music is played, once as the artist and again as the songwriter. Publishing income, licensing, radio plays, syncs in film and TV, this adds up to millions per year. In fact, in 2023, she became the first female artist to reach over 100 million certified album units in the US. 2 of her albums have gone diamond, and she's constantly releasing more. New music, deluxe editions, and her now famous re-recordings. Let's talk about those re-recordings, because this might be her most brilliant financial play. In 2019, after Scooter Braun acquired the masters of her early catalog, Taylor decided to fight back. Instead of buying them back, she would re-record them. The result? Fearless, Taylor's version. Red, Taylor's version. Speak Now, 1989. Each one topping charts and selling millions. Fans backed her, and the old versions dropped in value. With just the first 2 re-recorded albums, Taylor earned an estimated $52 million in 1 year. And in 2025, Taylor finally completed the ultimate flex. She bought back her original master recordings for around $360 million. This means she now controls the complete catalog of her life's work, both old and new, and can fully monetize it across all platforms. Licensing, streaming, syncs, you name it. Every cent now flows to her. This was a long-term bet, and it paid off. But Taylor doesn't stop at music. She's done brand deals too, though she's famously selective. She had a multi-year deal with Diet Coke worth over $25 million, partnered with Apple, AT&T, CoverGirl, and most recently Capital One, a deal likely worth 8 figures. But unlike other stars, Taylor didn't chase every brand opportunity. She actually turned down a reported $100 million deal with FTX, the crypto exchange that later imploded in scandal. Why? Because she asked if their offerings were legal securities. And when they couldn't answer, she walked. That single move saved her brand from a PR nightmare. It shows. This isn't someone chasing a check, she's playing the long game. Taylor's also built a quiet real estate empire. As of 2025, she owns at least 8 properties worth an estimated $110 million. Mansions in Beverly Hills, a penthouse compound in Tribeca, a Rhode Island estate that's practically a legend among fans. She's planted roots in every entertainment capital. These aren't just homes, they're trophies, assets, and tax-advantaged wealth stores. Add in her Dassault Falcon 7X private jet, her staff, her personal security, and the overhead of running Taylor Swift Inc. And the lifestyle cost is high, but it's dwarfed by what she brings in. So what does all this add up to? In a tour year like 2023 to 24, Taylor likely made over $500 million. That's $500 million in gross income from concerts, merchandise, film, music sales, royalties, and deals. In a non-tour year, she still brings in at least $60 to $100 million. But the net worth is what really counts. In 2023, Bloomberg pegged her at over $1 billion. By 2025, after the full Eras tour and buying back her catalog, she's likely worth around $2 billion. Forbes estimates $1.6 billion. Bloomberg says closer to $2.1 billion. Given everything we know, a $2 billion net worth is not only plausible, it's likely conservative. Taylor Swift is now more than a pop star. She's a financial force. She's the CEO of a billion-dollar enterprise built almost entirely on her own creativity, work ethic, and strategic vision. No fragrance line, no fashion empire, just music. An absolute mastery of every business angle surrounding it. So the next time someone says pop stars are just lucky, point to Taylor Swift, the woman who turned heartbreak, hit songs, and high standards into a self-owned billion-dollar empire. She's not just in her billionaire era, she's setting the blueprint for it. Like the video, comment who we should break down next, and subscribe to Pocket Watchers to learn the patterns behind real wealth and use them yourself.